everyone confirm, please, that you can see my screen? Can everyone confirm that you can see my screen for me, please?
Sir, we can see your screen.
The screen. All right, let us get going here now. So good night again, everyone. So good night to everyone who's here live in Zoom and for the persons who are also here on YouTube. So let us get going here now. So last week we did simple transformations, a few little simple transformations. This week we're going to be doing matrix transformation. So those are the more complicated ones. So matrix transformations. So before I jump there, so there are just a couple of things that I need you to make sure that you know and you can recall. All right. So firstly, please recall. So the formulas that we're going to be using here. If you have translation, if you have any question based on translation, this is the formula that you're going to be using. So if you have any question based on translation, that's the formula that you'll be using. If you have any question based on the rest of them now, reflection, rotation, and our enlargement, this is the formula that we're going to be using. So matrix times object, which is also the pre-image, is equal to the image. And then there are also some matrices that we're going to need to try our best and memorize as well. So for the persons who don't know these things here, let me give you a half a minute or so to screenshot that and then let us get moving. So again, for translation, you use that formula. For reflection, rotation, enlargement, you use that formula. All right, next page. Sorry, so the first matrices that you need to remember, if you get any question talking about enlargement, this is the matrix, right? This is the matrix that you're going to be using, right? And in that matrix, as you can see here, K will always represent the given scale factor. Next, if you're talking about reflection, these are the types of reflections. These are the matrices that represent each of those reflections. If you're talking about rotation, these are the types of rotations. These are the matrices that represent those rotations. So again, for the persons who I don't teach, so that means the persons who would not have been at class last night in our normal Zoom session, or for the persons who weren't able to make it last night either, right? I'm giving you a half a minute as well to screenshot this. All of those information that we have looked at, that's all the information that we will be using to help us answer all the questions that might come up. All right, so let's get moving. So question 1, May 2018. Question 1, May 2018. So what does it say here? A transformation T is defined by the matrix T equals 2, -1, 2, 0. The point A, -2, 3, is mapped onto the point A prime, AB under T. Right. Question 1. Find the value or the values of A and B. Question 2. Determine the transformation matrix that maps A prime back onto A. Question 3. Another transformation, P, is defined by the matrix P equals 0, 1, 1, -2. Question A says, find the single 2 by 2 matrix that represents that combined transformation of T followed by P. And then it says, hence, find the image of the point 1, 4 under this combined transformation. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, All right. So basically about 4 to 5 questions here. 4 to 5 questions here. So all you have to remember, unless you're doing translation, then you will always use that one formula. Matrix is equal, what's matrix equal? Matrix multiplied by pre-image. What is that always equal to? That is always equal to the image. So matrix multiplied by pre-image, that will always be equal to the image. So that's the formula that you guys need to use here. So matrix times pre-image, that's equal to the image. So matrix times pre-image is equal to the image. I'll give you a minute to get yourself started there. That's the formula. The matrix just represents what the transformation is. So the matrix is the transformation matrix. The pre-image, that's what you got from before. That's the one without the apostrophe. Please remember that pre-image, no apostrophe. Image, that's the one with the apostrophe. Remember, whenever you're doing these type of matrix transformation questions, whenever they give you a point like this, so whenever they give you a point in point form, example that, in order for you to be able to multiply it in the formula above, you have to write it like that. All right. So let me give you a minute or so just to get yourself started, and then let's see if you'll be on the right track as me. As well, people, please share, like, share, spread with your friends, let them know that we are here. This is a topic that basically comes every year, a topic a lot of persons have issues with. So please don't be afraid. Like, share, let everybody know that we are here and we are alive. All right, let's get going. All right, and we're finishing about 8. 8:15 or so. Tonight, tonight won't be a long night because we have already gone through all the principles. It's just about running through some of these questions here. So I have a number of questions for us to do, then we'll call it a night there. So question 1. So question A1. So the transformation is T and it maps A onto A prime. So the transformation is T, so that's T multiplied by the pre-image is A, and then the image will be A prime. All right, so what is T right here? 2, -1, 2, 0. I need to multiply that by A, so I have to write it in this form, -2, 3, and that is equal to, what do we get for the answer there? Anybody was able to get an answer for that there? Please share your answers in the chat for me, please. And as well, please try to put out an effort to work the questions out a little bit before I start, so that you're not just here sitting down regurgitating information, or you're not here just sitting down writing, right? It's about testing yourself here. You already have the information, the content. It's about your ability to now apply all of that information and that content. And you won't be able to do it in the exam unless you're practicing. And practicing does not mean coming here to sit down and just looking at what I'm doing. It means trying the questions, sending your answers, seeing if your answers are right or wrong. If you get anything wrong, then making sure you pay attention to see where you are going wrong. All right, so I'm seeing some answers in the chat here, where I see one person send me an answer so far. I don't know what about the others. And people always tell you the persons who do the work are the ones who are rewarded. So I won't say that again for the rest of the night. So for the persons who just come here to watch, well, this won't be an effective night for you at all. Let's go. So row by column. 2 times -2, that's -4, plus -1 times 3, that's -3. Then 2 times -2, that's -4, plus 0 times 3, that is 0. If you're not able to get this answer, then it means that you can't multiply. Then it means that you cannot multiply. So therefore, A is equal to A comes first. That means A has to be the X. Remember, X is always at the top. So that means A is -7 and B is -4. And that's what the question just asked you for. The question just asked you for A and B. So the question just asked you for A and B. And again, if you don't get that right, that means you don't know how to multiply matrices. Let's go again. Question 2. Determine the transformation matrix that maps A prime back onto A. So we want the transformation matrix now that maps A prime back onto A. So the transformation matrix that maps A prime back onto A. So we're going to start with the original formula. That's what I have right there. Okay, perfect. And then it says, now what we need to do now is to map A prime back onto A. If you're mapping A prime, what it means is that that is the one that you are now multiplying by the transformation. So in order for me to do that, that means I have to transpose T, and that means A would be equal to, when I transpose T, it becomes the inverse. So in order for me to map A prime back onto A, I have to use the inverse of T. So if T multiplied by A give me A prime, I then have to multiply A prime by the inverse of T to get back the A. So basically, what does that mean? This question now wants us to just basically find the inverse of T there. So let me give myself a blank page here. So that question just wants us to find the inverse of T. So what is T? 2, -1, 2, 0. So T, 2, -1, 2, 0. Remember, whenever you find the inverse of any matrix, it's always 1 over the determinant, and you multiply that by the adjoint. So what are we doing here? All we're doing is just using all of those same principles that we have used ever since learning about matrices. And as well, people, don't forget, if there's anything you need to ask your questions in the chat there. Do not be scared. Don't just sit down there and watch. All right. And you have heard that so many times. To find the determinant now, it's a product of the leading. So 2 times 0, 0, minus
0.
product of the non-leading, 2 times -1,
Negative
-2.
2.
What's the adjoint here? So I interchange the element, the leading. So we just have to remember what we do, right? So interchange the elements in the 2 and the 0. I am now going to interchange that, and I am going to get 0 up here, 2 down here. Then I change the signs of the non-leading, so the -1 become positive, the 2 becomes negative, da 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 da. Let's finish working this out. This is going to give me a plus. So 0 plus 2, that's 2. So this is the matrix that they're talking about.
So, sir, so you do T equal 2 times
No,
negative
that's
1.
not T.
It's diagonal, right?
All I do is just to find the inverse of T. T is equal to 2, -1, 2, 0. We find the inverse of T, and we have gone through that in a lot of detail. How to find the determinant, how to find the adjoint, and then how to put them together to find the inverse. If you can't find the inverse of a matrix, you won't be able to answer the matrix question. Yeah, if you can find the inverse, you have to be able to multiply. You can't go into the exam not being able to multiply matrices together, not being able to find the inverse of a matrix. And remember, it's the same things. Principles don't change. So all of those things that we do in class on a Wednesday when we were learning how to find the inverse is the exact same thing that we're going to be doing here now. All right. Next, question 3 now. It says, another transformation P. So another transformation P is defined by the matrix P equals 0, 1, 1, -2. It then says find a single 2 by 2 matrix that represents the combined transformation of T followed by P. All right. How do we answer that question there? So we are now at question 3, part A. They say the matrix that represents T followed by P, all they mean is T multiplied by P. And when they give it to you in that order, just make sure that you have it in the same order that was given to you. What is T? We know that T is 2, -1, 2, 0. I am multiplying that by P. What is P? 0, 1, 1, -2. Right? Let me give you a minute to try that. Multiplication for me, please. Do that multiplication. Once you multiply, your answer is the answer that they do. That multiplication for me here now quickly, everyone. Let's give you a minute to try that. And again, do not sit there and just wait for me to work the question out. Mathematics requires effort. Yes, you students are from a very lazy generation, but mathematics requires effort. That's why math grades are usually not so great and math exams are usually not passed by the majority because it requires a lot of effort. And most of you guys, Even though it's so easy to just put out some effort for even just an hour and a half, we find it hard. And all we are programmed to just sit and just take in information like a sponge. And when you approach mathematics that way, you are not going to be one of those persons who are able to be recommended for a math prize and all of those sort of things there. You have to put out the effort. And I am always repeating that because I have been teaching mathematics for more than 15 years. I know better than you guys. So for you guys who think that you don't have to put out the effort, I can tell you, you are not going to be as successful as you want to be if that's the way how you approach it. 10 more seconds. All right, let's go. And as I said, all you guys had to do was just to multiply that to get the answer. Everybody should know how to multiply. So everybody should have an answer right there. I haven't seen an answer in the chat right here. So
Oh,
go on
sir, I
again
got
and again. Anyways, let's go row by column. 2 times 0, that is 0, plus
0,
-1 times 1, that is -1. Then let's go here again, row by column. 2 times 1, that is 2, plus -1 times -2, that is also 2. Then let's go down here to the next row. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 0 times 1 is 0. Then let's go again. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 0 times -2 is 0. Let me add all of that together. That's -1, 4, 0, 2. That's my answer to that question. All they said, what's the 2 by 2 matrix? The single 2 by 2 matrix. And as you can see, we got one single 2 by 2 matrix. Sir, I got that. Okay, sir, that is perfectly correct. Right, so as you can see, we have one single 2 by 2 matrix there. And how did we get that? T multiplied by P. So when they say this transformation followed by that one, all they mean is that you're supposed to multiply them. All right. Final question for this one here, May 2018. As you can see, you see how simple these questions are, and I hope we are making that effort. The worst thing now is when you go in the exam, you see these things, and then you're going to remember today when you sat down there lazy and just sat and acted like a sponge. All right. Question B, find the image of the point 1, 4 under this combined transformation. So question B, they want the image. If you want the image, you always have to do this, no matter what. Once you want to find the image and you're doing matrix transformation, it has to be this. So matrix times the pre-image, that's going to give me the image. That's how we always do it. All right. What's the matrix that we're using? They say, hence this transformation. So it's the one that we just got when we figured out what T followed by P was. So that's my matrix. What's the pre-image here now? The pre-image, what did they say? They said 1, 4. So you know we're going to have to write it this way. And whenever you work that out, that's the final answer. That's the image right there. So let's go. -1 times 1, -1, plus 4 times 4, 16. All right? Let's go again. 0 times 1, 0.
0,
Plus 2 times 4, 8. What's my final answer? -1 plus 16, that's 15.
15
0
and 8.
8, that's 8. And then you can write it like this in coordinate form. That is my answer right there. Those are the answers to all of those questions. And if I remember right, that's about that's approximately about 8 marks in total. 8 to 10 marks right there in total. 8 to 10 marks. And you see how simple those 8/10 marks were. And again, if you get a question, well, not if, you have to get matrices on the paper. It's either they're going to give you one question that is based solely on matrix transformation, or they're going to give you one question based on just the matrix principles, using it to solve a simultaneous and stuff like that. Or they'll give you part of it, Part of it is normal matrices, part of it is transformation matrix. Effort. Once you do that, you guys will be successful. Let's get going again. Next question. That's question number 1, May 2018. We should be fine right there. Let's get moving. Bam, bam. Next question, I think this one is now 27. So we have 2 different questions here. Let's start at the one at the top right there. January 2017. So January 2017. So what does that question say? It says, so January 2017, the matrix T, which is equal to C, 0, 0, D, maps the point 2, 3 onto the point P2, 3 onto the point Q, 2, negative 3. 1, determine the values of C and D. 2, determine the image of negative 5, 4 under the transformation T. 3, describe fully the transformation T. Anybody who was at class last night in our regular teaching session should be able to do this. Remember, I told you last night, there are certain, especially when it comes to the reflections, you can look at the answer, you can look at the image and the pre-image that they give to you. So when they give you a question like this, where they give you the pre-image, they give you the resulting image, and they want you to try to determine the transformation, if you just look at it, especially for the reflections, once you see what has happened to the image, you should be able to figure out what reflection it is, and then to figure out what the matrix is going to be. So let me give you a minute. Let me give you a minute to start that one off. If you can't do it that way, I am going to show you another way how we're going to be able to figure out the answer. All right, so I'll show you another way that we can incorporate to figure out the answer. So I'm going to show you this question 2 different ways. All right, so let's go. So 1 minute to test yourself first there. Would you be able to find C or D? Remember the formula that we're going to be using, right? So matrix, always matrix. So matrix times the pre-image equals the image. What's the matrix in this case? That's T times, what's the pre-image? They say maps the point P onto the point Q. So there it is right there, right? All right, let's get going. So I'm going to do this the simple way first, which is just the way how you can do it if you know what you're supposed to know. What do you notice here? Right, so this is the formula that we're going to be using when we do the formula method. But what do you notice here? What is my pre-image? My pre-image is 2, 3. What is my image? My image is Q, which is 2, negative 3. Can anybody tell me, what do you notice? What did I do to the pre-image to get the image? What did we do?
Find the inverse?
No, sir. Come on, man. Look at what you see right there. Don't tell me about finding the inverse, man. Come on, sir. Look at what exactly happens. Look at P, look at Q. What's the only difference there? What did you do to P to get Q? What happens to the coordinates?
They turn
Come on,
to...
anyone here, what happened to the coordinates here? Everybody should be able to see it because it's obvious right there in front of our face. But as usual, the lack of effort is a killer. Thank you, Miss Mitch. So the Y becomes negative, and that's very obvious right there in front of our face. But as usual, the lack of effort, which is going to be the reason why we're not successful, the lack of effort, we're just waiting for sir to give us the answer. So thank you, ma'am. So what do we do here, as you can clearly see, because I'm 100% sure it's obvious right there in front of you. We have changed the sign of the Y. And that is all that we have done. Did we do anything to the X coordinate? Remember, X is at the top. Did we do anything to the X?
No, sir.
No.
Just
so
the
all
Y.
we do was to change the sign of the Y. Does that remind us of anything? Does that remind us of anything from last night? Nothing happens to the X. but we change the sign of the y.
Oh,
And if
sir,
you
you're asking
remember,
about reflection, sir.
what does that remind us of?
Reflection.
Reflection, but which type of reflection? Somebody says a reflection in the x-axis. When you reflect in the x-axis, what happens? X remains the same, change the sign of the y. That is perfect. So if you know that, right? So if you know that, then you should know that the matrix that represents a reflection in the y-axis is this one. So therefore, I know that what is C then therefore equal to 1, and what is D then therefore equal to -1. And as you can see, I never did any working out a while ago. I just utilized the knowledge that I would have learned. And that's one way how we would have been able to get that answer right there. Let's look at another method. This is the method now where we will be utilizing the formula. So the formula says matrix. Remember now we're acting like we don't know what the C and the D are. So that's the matrix multiplied by the pre-image. What's the pre-image? P, which is 2, 3, and it's equal to the image. What was the image? 2, -3. What would you do in a case like this? You are going to multiply the left-hand side. So let's go. C times 2. What does that give me? And even though you see letters, normal multiplication, don't get yourself confused. C times 2, 2C plus 0 times 3, 0. Then 0 times 2, 0 plus D times 3, 3D.
3D.
Right. That 2, -3. What do I get now? That gives me 2C and that gives me 3D. And what is that equal to? 2 and -3. Do we remember what is supposed to happen here? These are called equal matrices. So, and remember, we have done all of these things. So, equal matrices. When two matrices have the same order, right? When two matrices have the same order and they're equal to each other, the corresponding elements are equal. What does that therefore mean about 2C? Right? What does that therefore mean about 2C? What would 2C then be equal to? Remember, corresponding elements are equal. Let me add another page. So remember, corresponding elements are equal. Right?
2C could be equal to...
Yes, 2C is equal to. So corresponding means the 2C over here goes with the, which one does it go with, sir? It goes with
It
the,
must go the 2 minus 3, sir.
it goes, no, it goes, I don't know, not the 2. Which number, which of those numbers is only one of those numbers? Which of those numbers would it go with? Look at the position where the 2C is in. It's at the top, so it goes with
the 2, sir.
goes with the 2, all right, so let's go. So therefore, that means 2C is equal to 2. And then how do I find C now? Divide by 2, divide by 2. What is 2 divided by 2? That gives me
1.
All right. And let us go right here. What did we get for C? We also got C equals 1. Let's go again. 3D, what would the 3B be equal to? That will be equal to the is 3.
3D equal
And then
-3.
when we divide by the 3,
3.
D is equal to what's
D
-3
equal to
divided by 3?
-1.
So therefore, C equals 1 and D equals -1. Two different ways to skin the cat. Two ways to get the same answer. Two ways to skin that cat right there.
So the second one feels, the first one feels faster, but the second one feels...
The second one is more sure because you're not guessing anything, you're working it out. The first one is dependent. The first method is dependent on how much you remember out of your head. That's the thing. If you don't remember it out of your head, just use the formula and work it out and you will be able to get the same answer as you can see. Let's get going here now. Question 2. Question 2. What does it say? It now says determine the image of -5, 4 under the transformation T. So the transformation is T. We have our pre-image and we want to find the image. What's the transformation? So the transformation is what we're using for T. But remember, we know what the C and the D are. So it is 1, 0, 0, -1. And I am multiplying the pre-image, which is -5 and 4. and I need to get my image here. What is my image? 1 times -5, that is -5 plus
Negative
0
5.
times 0. Then
0.
0 times
0 times
-5,
-5. That's
0,
0.
plus -1 times
Negative
4,
1.
negative.
-4.
All right, when we add everything together, what do we get?
Get
-5,
-5 and
four,
-4.
and then you write it in point form.
Coordinate form.
All right, perfect. That is our image right there. And that's what CXC will do. If they ask you, if they give you a question where you're supposed to determine what the transformation is that maps something onto something, when you find that transformation, they are then going to require you to use it to find the image of a given point. All right. Question 3. The final one, and this is where a lot of persons mess up as well here, because it says describe the transformation T fully, and that means that you're supposed to be using words now. So when you describe the transformation fully, you're going to be using words. So what type of transformation was it? What type of transformation was it again? Remember, we spoke about that earlier. So what type of transformation was it?
The
It's a
x-axis.
Reflection.
reflection, okay, in the X,
X-axis.
In the
and that's it.
x-axis.
And that's it. And that is it right there. That's it. A reflection in the x-axis. And I could actually write it out better. So I could say T, right? T is a transformation representing a reflection in the x-axis. That's the only other way that I could actually pretty that out. But that's it. They just want to see you telling them that it's a reflection and telling them what type of reflection. Reflection in the x-axis. Perfect. Those are my answers right there. Next, let's get moving along here now. We don't come here to waste time at all tonight. Running through as many questions as we can before I have to go at 8. So let's go. Next, there you have another question right here now below. Try this one again. Let me give you a minute again. This is a total different question. Total different question. So the matrix J equals 0, -1, 1, 0 represents a single transformation. Okay. The image of the point P under transformation J is 5. I remember it never says P is 5, 4. It says the image of P is 5, 4. It now says determine the coordinates of P. Question C for that same question there. Part C says write down a matrix H of size 2 by 2, which represents an enlargement of scale factor 3 about the origin. Again, before I started here, I showed you back the information representing the different matrices. And then the final question for this says, determine the coordinates of the point 5, -7 under the combined transformation H followed by J. And as you can see, this question is 6 whole marks, right? 6 whole marks. 6 very simple marks right here. And as I told you with the question previously, once they ask you any question that requires you to figure out what a transformation is, you are then going to have to use it to multiply a pre-image to determine an image. All right, so let's see if you guys will be able to get that there. Let me give you a minute again, as usual, to get yourself started, and let us see if you will be starting on the right track. So let's give you a minute or two to see if you can get the answer for the first one. If you're able to get that answer before I work it out, put that answer in the chat. Determine the coordinates of P. You're doing a transformation. It's not a translation, so you have to use the same formula there. Matrix times pre-image equals image. Right, and remember, please like the video, please like the YouTube live and share it. Right, so even if you're here in Zoom, just take a minute, go there, put a little like on it, press a little share it with your friends. You should not be the only one benefiting from all of this information here, right? And as well, if for some reason any day before the exam or so you need to look back on principles related to this topic, you have this video that's going to be there that you can always go back to for reference. One more minute. Let's see if anybody can get this. One more minute, and I just want the first answer. First answer. If you're able to get that first answer in that minute, put that in the chat for me, please. Can you determine the coordinates of P? And remember, P is not the image, right? All right, let's go here. Okay, it's negative 5, 4. I see 5, negative 4. All right, let's see. So the first thing here, let us write our formula. So the formula is going to remain the same. So you know it's matrix times your pre-image equals your image. For our question here, what's the matrix? The matrix is J. Pre-image is P, and your image, let's just say that is I. What's the matrix for J? J is 0, negative 1, 1, 0. Multiply that by, we do not know what the coordinates of P are, so guess what I'm going to do? We're going to use our X and our Y to represent those. Since we don't know what they are, we just use those two letters to represent them. And then what is my image? They said the image was 5, 4. So basically, this is the same type of question like what we started out with for the previous question. Multiplying with some variables there, then you're going to basically solve an equation afterwards. But you have to make sure that you're doing the multiplication properly. So let's go. Let us multiply now. So 0 times x, 0 plus negative 1 times y, negative y. Then 1 times x, x plus 0 times y, that is y. Let's go here now. So I'm going to get negative y. X equals 5 and 4 based on the principle that we use, the principle of equal matrices. X is equal to 4, right? And what else do I know? I know negative y is equal to 5. You cannot have a negative y, so we divide both sides by negative 1. Y equals negative 5. So therefore, what are the coordinates of P? X is 4, y is negative 5. So x is 4, y is negative 5. And when we multiply that, that's how we're going to end up with an image of 5 and 4. Right? So I see some people with the correct numbers, but they don't have it in the correct place. So some people have their x as negative 5 and their y as 4. Remember, where you place them is going to determine which one they represent. Next. So we have figured out what the matrix and what the coordinates of P is. It now says write down a matrix for a for an enlargement of a scale with scale factor 3. Pretty simple right there. This is now question C right there, C1. So remember, enlargement is K, 0, 0, K. K represents the scale factor. So if the scale factor is 3, then the answer for that is 3003. And you realize you only get 1 mark for that because you're just regurgitating some information that you're supposed to know. And that's the easiest one out of all of them. So they know that this should not give you a problem to figure out. So if you want an enlargement scale factor 3 about the origin, remember, it is K0, 0K, and K represents the scale factor. Question 2 now, final question for that one. Determine the coordinates of the point 5, -7 under the combined transformation H followed by J, right? So H followed by J. So for this question, I have to start out with this. That is H followed by J. Remember, H followed by J means H multiplied by J. That is my H, right? What is my J? 0, -1, 1, 0, da, 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 da. So if I am going to use it to multiply something, the question says to determine the coordinates of that under that transformation, I have to figure out what the transformation is first. So 3 times 0, 0, plus 0 times 1, 0. Then let's go. 3 times -1, -3, plus 0 times 0, 0. Right, let's go again. 0 times 0, 0, plus 3 times 1, 3. Then 0 times -1, 0, plus 3 times 0, 0. So the matrix is 0, -3, 3, 0. That's the matrix. Remember now, I need to multiply it by that point, 5, -7, so that I can get the image of this point when I am using this transformation. So 0 times 5, 0, plus -3 times -7, 21. Then 3 times 5, 15, plus 0 times -7, 0. What's my answer here? 21, 15. And what if they ask you for coordinates, always write it in coordinate form when you're finished. So that is my answer right there. Again, people, nothing too difficult. And this is the gist of basically all the questions. This is what they're going to want you to be able to do. And again, nothing too difficult. It's all about our ability to multiply. That's all I see right there. Just our ability to multiply. Let's go again. So let's go again. All right, so again, we're finishing at 8, so we basically have about half an hour to go, a little over half an hour. Let's see how many more we can run through by then. Next principle. All right, there is one right here that has a little diagram involved in it. The diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows a triangle ABC whose coordinates are stated, and there you have the different coordinates for the triangle. Triangle ABC undergoes 2 successive transformations, V followed by W, where V is that and W is that. Again, people, I should not tell you what V followed by W means because it's like the 3rd question in a row, we get something based on that. So this is V followed by W. So when you see that statement, you're supposed to know what operation you're going to have to do with both of those. Question 1, state the effect of V on triangle ABC. If you're not able to look at V and figure it out, remember you have your matrices, go through all of them. Reflection and rotation only use the numbers 1 inside of the matrices. What would that then therefore mean? V cannot be a reflection or a rotation. So you must know which one it is. As you can see, W has the numbers -1 and 1 in there. So once it have a -1 or 1, once it contains -1s and 1, it's either a reflection or a rotation if you're talking about a single transformation. If the transformation does not, if it's a single transformation and it does not contain the numbers 1, the numbers 1 or -1, if it contains 2, 3, half, any other number, then you know it's going to be a what, Sir Justin? I just heard you say it, a what? Yes, Mr. Search, yes,
To
Mr. Justin.
be the W, sir. V will
If it's
not
not a
be a
reflection, if it's not a reflection and it's not a rotation, then it
enlargement.
has to be an enlargement. I don't know why you're answering like you're guessing, sir. It has to be an
No, I'm
enlargement.
I'm, I'm telling you, I know it, sir.
Yeah, man, of course. All right. So 1 more minute, guys. Let's see if you must be able to answer question 1. And then I give you 2 marks for that, and that is so simple. State the effect of V on triangle ABC. Question 2, 3 marks, and that is so simple. Determine the 2 by 2 matrix that represents basically V followed by W. 3 marks for that. And then question 3, using that matrix, determine the coordinates of the image of the triangle. So watch it. 3 simple questions and then I give you 8 marks. That's basically a giveaway. So come on, a minute or so. And then let me attack these. So again, this question is like a giveaway. And we not just thought that because I'm a maths teacher. I'm talking because these 3 questions are literally 3 very simple questions. Right? So 3 very simple questions. You should be able to look at V. Mr. Justin already explained that it has to be an enlargement. So that means you must can know what it gonna do to the something. Because enlargement means one thing. So when you enlarge something, that's only one thing that it could mean. And again, people, effort here. Efforts. Few more months, no, not even months, a few more weeks left for the exam. That's how I want you guys to approach it. All right, let's get going here now, my peeps. So, question 1. It says, state the effect of V on triangle ABC. So let us write something here. So the transformation V, what is V going to do? If it's an enlargement, what is it going to do to the shape?
It's going to multiply it, sir.
Yeah, but I want an I word. It's going to an I word, sir. In enlargement. So
In
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 who thinks they can tell what that I word is? Increase, sir.
increase. Oh, increase. Oh,
We will increase the size of ABC by what? By a scale factor of, come on, by a scale factor of, there is V right there. It's very obvious, by a scale factor of 2.
2.
No, 2, by a scale factor
Oh,
of 2.
oh, oh. Okay.
We just did an enlargement question where I wrote the formula and told you that K represents a scale factor. Like people, you have to apply the information every time you see it. So the scale factor is simply 2 right there. And as you can see, the 2's are in the same position that the K's are in right here. So the same position that the K's are in for right there. So, oh, what is that? Do you know what this is? In case I accidentally took away something. All right, let's go now. So that's the answer for that. And you get 2 marks for just writing 1 sentence. Woo! Look at how easy. The easiest 2 marks you ever get in a maths exam. Let's get going again here now. Question 2.
Determine the
Determine
2 by 2
2 by
2
2
by 2
matrix.
matrix that represents the combined
Combined
transformation
transformation
of
of
V.
V followed by
So
W.
we're
What
going
do
to multiply V by
you
W.
have to multiply? All right, perfect. Thank you, sir. What is V? 2, 0, 0, 2. What is W? Negative 1, 0, 0, 1. It's all about your ability to multiply. So let's go. 2 times negative
2
1,
times
negative
negative
2,
1.
plus 0 times 0,
0,
0. All right, next. 2 times 0, 0, plus
0,
0 times 1, 0. All right.
0.
Again, no. So next row, 0 times negative 1, 0, plus 2 times 0, 0. Then 0 times 0, 0, plus 2 times 1, 2. What's my answer here?
So it's
Negative 2,
negative 2, 0, 0,
0,
2.
and all right. So negative 2, 0, 0, and 2. And as I always tell you, once they ask you to determine a matrix, they're going to then ask you to use it to find an image afterwards. So I need to use it to determine the image of the triangle. Once you're finding the image, it's always matrix, right? Times
Matrix times
image
pre-image equals
equals
image.
image. All right. What's the matrix that we're using? Negative 2, 0, 0, 2. What's the pre-image? It's that triangle. So if it's a triangle, then it's A, B, C. What is A? 1, 2. What
One,
is B?
two,
1, 1. And what
one,
is C?
one, and
2.
two, one.
Right. All we got to do here now is just to multiply. So row by column. So negative 2 times 1, that's negative 2
Negative two,
plus 0 times 2, 0. So that is that.
zero.
Then let's go again. Negative 2 times 1,
Negative
negative 2
one,
plus
two
0.
plus
Then
zero,
negative times 2, negative 4 plus 0.
zero.
Right. And that is A prime, B prime, C prime. Then next row, 0 times 1, 0, plus 2 times 2, 4, right? 0 times 1, 0, plus 2 times 1, 2. Then 0 times 2, 0, plus 2 times 1, 2. So therefore, let me just put the final answer up here. So A prime, B prime, C prime. So this is negative 2, negative 2, negative 4. Then 4, 2, 2.
Two,
And
two.
you can write it out in coordinate form. Negative 2, 4. What is B prime? Negative 2, 2. What is C prime? Negative 4, 2. A, negative 2, 4, B, 2, 2, negative 4, 2. Is that the same thing that you have as me? Yes, madam. Perfect, right there.
And we just got 8 marks from that, sir.
And you see how simple those 8 marks were. Like
Yes,
that's
sir.
like so simple. See that that's like 8 of the simplest marks that you probably would have ever gotten in an exam there. Let's get going again.
Yes, sir.
Next, again, try this one for me first. Try this one for me first. The matrix transformation R is represented by, there you have that. The matrix transformation S is represented by, there you have that. Write a single that S followed by R, and you get 2 marks for that, and you're supposed to know what to do. And that is very simple. Then it now says calculate the image of, and what do I always tell you? Once they ask you to find, to actually figure out what a transformation is, they will then ask you to use it to find an image. 5 easy marks right here. I am giving you guys about 5 minutes. If you 5 minutes to, you don't even need so many minutes, but I'm giving you 5 minutes to try to see if you can get those 5 marks perfectly correct. And these are 5 simple marks to get. Nothing difficult right here. Please apply your principles. You understand what S followed by R means, and you know how to find the image of something once you have the pre-image and once you have the pre-image and the matrix. All right. Seeing an answer for A in the chat there. I'm gonna check that. And if that is your answer for the first one, then the second one should be pretty simple for you as well. Let's go. So the first thing is S followed by R. And it's the same thing that we're going to do like for all the other questions where we had something followed by something. So this is B. So question B, it's S followed by R. That means S multiplied by R. Right? So S R, that's S multiplied by R. All right, let's get going. So what is S right here? 0, 1, -1 multiplied by. What is R right here? -1, 0, 0, 1. So a single matrix that represents all of that there now. So let's go. We need to multiply 0 times -1 is 0. 1, so 0 times -1, 0, 1 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0,
0 times 0
plus
is
1
0.
times 1 is 1.
1.
-1,
Mhm.
-1 times -1, that gives me
That's
positive
negative
1.
1.
Plus, no, positive 1, sir.
You
-1
put
times -1, positive 1 plus 0. Then -1 times 0, 0, 0 times 1, 0. So that's the matrix that represents that combined transformation. As I always tell you, once they ask you a question like that, then the question to follow will basically be using the transformation. So calculate the image of the point. So it's matrix times pre-image equals image. What's the matrix? 0, 1, -1, 0. What's the pre-image? 5, -2. And what's the image? All right, so 0 times 5 is 0, plus 1 times -2 is -2. Then -1 times 5, -5, plus 0 times -2, 0. So what's my answer here? My answer is -2, -5. And that is it right there. That is our image. That is our image. Let us move on once more. Sir, isn't it two positive ones in the diagonal? Two positive ones in the diagonal where? 0, 0, 1, -1. Oh, -1 times -1 is positive. So that's supposed to be positive.
I was
That's
right,
positive.
sir. You said no, sir.
I'm sorry, sir. So 0 times that 0, 1 times that negative that. Then 1 times that is 5. All right, so it is -2 and 5. -2, +5. Thank you for noticing that mistake, ma'am, when you do S times R. So thank you for pointing out that mistake. I'm just a human being here now. Sir, just a human being now. Anyways, let's go again. Again, try this for me first. The transformation M0A B0 maps the point R to T and R prime onto T prime such that, and you see that there, determine the values of A and B. Then describe fully the transformation M. I've showed you a way how you can figure that out right there. So I've showed you a way how you can figure that out right there. Right? So you realize that you're interchanging the signs, but you only change the sign for one of them. For anybody who's thinking that it's a reflection, no, it's not going to be a reflection. Whoa. Okay, there we are. All right, let's attack this one. Determine the values of A and B. So the matrix times the pre-image equals the image. What's my matrix here? That's M times what's the pre-image? It maps R onto R prime or T onto T prime. You can use any of those two. It's still gonna make this be the same answer. All right, so what is M here now? M 0, A, B 0. All right. We multiply that by R. What is R? 7, 2. And that's equal to R prime, which is 2, -7. So do your multiplications on the left-hand side. So when I multiply on the left-hand side, I get 0 times 7, 0 plus 2 times A, 2A. Then I get B times 7, 7B plus 2 times 0, 0. So when we're finished now, this is what we're going to have. And then therefore you can say 2A equals 2. So you divide both sides by 2. So therefore A is equal to 1. And when you look on the other one there, 7B is equal to -7. So I divide both sides by 7. B is equal to -1. So A is 1, B is -1. And that means that the transformation is 0, 1, -1, 0. Question 2 now says, describe fully the transformation M. How do you do a question like that? Describe fully the transformation M. 2/7. To describe fully the transformation M, the first thing you have to do is to figure out what the transformation is. You have to know what it is, and then you can say whatever you need to say after that.
The transformation M is
Sorry, what you said?
will be a reflection, sir.
A reflection. Why do you say reflection? You realize that you have the matrix right there. You don't have to guess.
Oh.
Stop the guess, sir. Go to your list. You have the
So I'm
list
looking
of
at I look at the list here.
you have the list for all of them. Look at the matrix there. 0, 1, -1, 0. So let's continue here now. So what do you see there, sir? What type of transformation is it? And it's either a reflection or a rotation. Which one is it, sir? Or madams
Reflection, sir.
here? You said what? So you had R with 7 first, then 2. How do you switch it up for 2A to B on top of 7B? What's there? I don't know what. Like, I just multiplied properly, man. I just multiplied properly. Person asking me that question, you're not multiplying properly. Right? So again, the person asking me that question, you're not multiplying properly. All right, so again, what did you say, sir? What type of reflection did you say? Yes, sir. What did you say? Somebody here, what is that matrix representing? Like I
A
can't believe
rotation, sir.
I gave you guys all of these, and you're still, I still have to be waiting so long to get
Sir,
the
it
answer.
would be
What type of
a
rotation, sir?
it's a 270 anti-clockwise, sir.
Why would you say that one? And the 90 clockwise is right on the top right there, even though both of them are exactly the same thing.
Oh,
Right? So both
sorry,
of them
sir.
are exactly the same thing. Still, so any of them you put, your answer would not be incorrect. All right, so what do they say here now? Describe that fully. And when you're describing fully, you have to use words. So what are the words that I'm going to use here now to describe that? What type of transformation is it? That's the first thing. What type of transformation? So
Transformation
a
oh,
rotation 90 degrees clockwise, or 270 anti-clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. That's how you would see it. So it is a rotation 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. And we have enough time for one more.
Yes, sir.
I have enough time for one more here. And then we will call it a night right there. We did a good amount of questions tonight, and as you can see, these questions very simple. You were getting some marks for some simple stuff. So as you can see, that question there as well is a 5-mark question. 5 very easy marks there to get. All right, let's go again. All right. So final question here. Yeah, and this is actually the final question that I actually had planned for us to do anyway. So perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right. Perfect timing.
Sir, this don't. Sir, this don't.
After class, and I'm gonna practice until I get perfect at it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. We gotta practice. Let's go. Final question. Describe fully the transformation that maps LMN onto L prime, M prime, N prime. Right? So look at what you have there. Is any of them bigger than the other one? No, that means it cannot be an enlargement. Next.
Sir, they look alike, sir.
Yeah, they look exactly the same. So they're supposed to look exactly the same. Next. Does any of them look like you spin it around or anything like
Yeah,
that?
it's a rotation, sir. It's
Well,
spin,
kind of ish
it's
looks like
spin.
that kind of ish might look like that, but that's actually not the answer. It's
Oh,
actually a reflection. Let me show you this here now. So this is a question based on reflection on the graph paper. Look at this. So it does look at the originals and the image and the image and the pre-image for all of these here. Oh, what's happening here? No. That's what you're doing here at the last question. You can't be failing us now. All right, there we are. So this is what I call the mirror line. How many spaces is it between the mirror line and M? How many spaces? How many jumps?
one jump, sir.
One, sir.
One jump, all right. And then how many jumps from the mirror line now to the image?
Another one jump, sir.
Same one jump. Let's check N. How many jumps from N to the mirror line?
2.
That
2. And then how much
2.
from the mirror line to the image?
2.
Also
2, sir.
let us check the L. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is how I know that it's a reflection. So it is a reflection. So it is a reflection using the mirror line. What's the mirror line? It is on the x-axis, so x equals 7. Right? So, and if you give you a diagram, then this is how you can come up with the mirror line part of it. If they don't give you a diagram, then you're going to be using one of those normal other reflections that we would always normally use. So that is it. So it's a reflection using the mirror line, y equals x. Mirror line, x equals 7. Next, on the answer sheet provided, draw a triangle that the image of LMN after a translation by the vector 0, -3. So let's go. It says 0, -3. This is translation. So do we remember what this represents? Remember, I told you have to be able to write this in words. The 0 means we're not going right or left, so there's no horizontal movement. But what is the vertical movement? -3 means I am going 3 in what direction?
You're
Up
going
or down?
downwards there.
All
It's,
right,
it's kind of like
perfect. So
vectors,
here's my
sir.
L. 1, 2, 3. That is L double prime. M, 1, 2, 3. M double prime. N, 1, 2, 3. N double prime. And then you simply join all of those points right there. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. All right, so there we have that right there. It now says name and describe a combination of two transformations which may be used to map that onto that. And there's no working out that you have to do. All you have to do is just use your brain right here, right? If I want to bring this right here, what's the first thing that I can do? And there are two different transformations that we need to do. Obviously, it can't be enlargement because the size not changing. So what can I do here?
You can do
If I want to get
reflection.
this over here, I can start by doing what to this first? Reflection, all right. So let us do the reflection. If I do the reflection, right, this is where the mirror line is. So 1, that means 1 jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 6 jumps. 1, 2, that's 2 jumps right here. Bam, bam, bam. So that's the first thing. So the first thing that we're going to do is, so transformation 1. But the thing, the reason why we can't use that is because they said 2. Somebody says a glide reflection. The reason why we cannot say glide reflection is because they say name and describe a combination of 2 transformations. So we need to give you the 2 transformations that we're going to be combining. So the first transformation 1, right? If they said name and describe one transformation that can, one combined transformation that can da 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 da, then we would do that. So transformation 1 is a reflection in the line x equals 7. When we do that, that's going to bring us over here. But no, we still need to reach there. What do I do to this triangle to get it right here? What type of movement do? We go
Up?
I bring this triangle here up, all right? And if am I bringing it anywhere to the left or right?
No, sir.
So that means that the horizontal movement is
Positive?
horizontal, left or right. That movement is, are we moving it left or right?
No, sir.
And so what is the horizontal movement? What
0?
number is the horizontal movement? What number?
0?
0. Once you hear me talking about horizontal or vertical movement, that means we're doing translation. I need to go up. What represents up? A positive for the Y or a negative for the Y?
Positive?
Positive, but now we need to figure out how much. So use this point. How much do I go up by to get this point? 1, 2, 3. So it's a positive 3. So now I can write what the second transformation is, followed by transformation 2, which is what? A translation using vector t equals 0, 3. Right? And that is it for us tonight, everyone.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys for being here. I really and truly appreciate it. All right, I hope you guys learned a lot here and see that the questions are actually very simple because we just did a 7-mark question. That was just a 7-mark question. Look at how simple that 7-mark question was. All right, people, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, for my regular Wednesday students, and Thursday for my students who are here from Wednesday or the persons who just regularly join us on YouTube. So good night, everyone. I'll see you guys around. And yes, Mr. Justin, I'll see you in our private class.